Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for downloading or streaming this training session. Today, we're going to be discussing Excel tips and tricks for power users of JAWS. And in case you're not already acquainted with our training team, my name's Rachel.
Hi, I'm Liz.
And our special guest today is Kathy Johnson, today from Bridgetown Tech. She hails from the beautiful Portland, Oregon, the namesake of her assistive technology company, a city full of the most gorgeous bridges ever. But although she's from that area of the country, Kathy does a lot of remote teaching of assistive technology online. So Kathy, if you want to introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your company.
Rachel, thank you so much. Yes, my name is Kathy Johnson, and I'm in the Portland, Oregon area. However, I primarily do remote work around the country, teaching JAWS and the Microsoft Office suite. If you have any needs at all in this area, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me by email at Kathy_Johnson@live.com. And again, that's Kathy with a C _Johnson@live.com.
As far as our topics for today, we do have a lot of really interesting tasks that we've chosen, primarily based on your requests. And if you ever do have additional training questions or training suggestions that you'd like to send along, don't hesitate to send us an email to training@vispero.com. For this session, we're going to be covering using place markers within Excel, selecting text within an Excel spreadsheet, hiding and unhiding rows, sorting and filtering, selecting, moving, copying, or deleting a sheet within Excel, setting row and column headings, and then finally, we're going to be discussing how to use the Excel watch window to monitor cells. And with all of that out of the way, I am going to hand it right over to Liz to get started with our first demo.
I'm going to demonstrate how to use place markers and show you a couple of ways of selecting data here in Excel. You may be familiar with place markers. Perhaps you've used them on the internet to mark a place on a web page or maybe in a Word document. And they're very handy for allowing you to mark the position that you want and go right to it very quickly with a keyboard command. And you can do that here in Excel. You can mark a cell and jump directly to that cell. So I'm going to show you how to set a temporary place marker. Now these are temporary, so you can only have one place marker in a worksheet. You can actually have a place marker on every sheet in your workbook, but you can only have one per sheet. So I'm going to move over here to cell E2. I have a worksheet open here that's a budget worksheet. So we're going to move over to the cell that contains the title.
Blank B1, blank C1, blank blank E1, budget 2021, E2.
All right, and I'm going to place a temporary mark here by pressing Control Windows K, kilo.
Dialog, replace marked cell B1 with E2, yes button, Alt plus
All
Y.
right, now JAWS has recognized that I already had a marked cell here in this sheet, and it's asking me if I want to replace the mark with this new one. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it yes by pressing Enter. And if I didn't want to do that, I could down arrow to no, but I'm just going to press Enter here on yes.
Enter. Budget 2021, E2, setting cell marker at E2.
All right, and JAWS has told me that the cell marker is now set. Now I'm going to show you how to jump to this cell marker, this place very quickly on this worksheet. So I'm going to go to the end of the sheet with Control End.
Last cell, grand total, blank, R47.
All right. To jump to that place where we just set that place marker, I am going to press Alt Windows K.
Budget 2021, E2.
And there we are. Now I'm going to navigate over here to another worksheet. This one happens to be a blank sheet. And I want to set another cell marker so I can show you how to navigate to a list of markers within a workbook. So I'm going to press Control Page Down.
Sheet 2, blank, B2.
All right, and I'm going to navigate to this first cell here.
blank, A2, blank, A1.
And let's just go ahead and set a temporary place marker there. Now you also hear me using the term cell marker. Place marker and cell marker here are the same thing. All right, so I'm going to press Control Windows K.
Dialog, replace marked cell B1 with A1, yes button, Alt plus Y.
And I do want to replace that, so I'm going to press Enter.
Enter, setting cell marker at A1, blank, A1.
And we have our new cell marker. Now I want to access a list of cell markers in this workbook, and I'm going to do that by pressing Control Alt Windows K.
List of cell markers dialog, list 1 list view, sheet to its cell marker A1, 2 of 2.
All right, we have 2 cell markers in this workbook. We have 1 on each worksheet, and it places focus here on the second sheet because that's where I currently am. If I was in the other worksheet, it would have placed focus on the first one. I can navigate this list using my arrow keys. So if I up arrow here,
Sheet 1 at cell marker E2, 1 of 2.
there we have the first cell marker. And if I press enter here, it's going to take me back to that first worksheet and to that specific place on that sheet. So let's do that now.
Enter, sheet 1, budget 2021, E2.
And here we are back in cell E2. All right, another use for place markers is selecting text. So when you set a place marker, it's going to serve as that beginning mark. So here we have this budget worksheet, and I want to select some information. I want to select the data in the column for groceries from January through March. So I'm going to down arrow here, and I'm going to locate that row and column.
Groceries, E3. January, $200.00, E4.
All right, so this is where I want to start my selection. So I'm going to do that with a place marker by pressing Control Windows K.
Dialog, replace marked cell E2 with E4, yes button, Alt plus Y.
And I do want to do that, so I'll press Enter.
Enter, setting cell marker at E4, $200.00.
Now I want to down arrow to March because, perhaps I want to get an average of how much I spend on groceries every quarter. So to do that, I'm going to select the data. I'm going to down arrow to March.
February, $225.00. March, $250.00, E6.
All right, so we have the cell marker set in January for the column for groceries, and now we're in the column for March, and I'm going to mark the end of this selection by using a layered command. I'm going to press Insert Spacebar to activate the command layer.
Space.
And then I'm going to press the letter M as in Mike to mark the end of this selection.
Select E4, $200.00, E6, $250.00.
And there's our selection range. And the data that is selected starts at the marked cell, the cell marker that we set in January, and ends right here. So from here, I could perform a calculation, I could copy, I could format this data, I could do a number of things. Now, if I want to verify once more what is selected, I can do that by pressing Shift Insert Down Arrow.
Selected range, January and number 13, through and number 13, March. E4, $200.00, E6, $250.00.
All right, so that tells us the range that we have now selected. Now I can press down arrow to remove that selection.
February.
And the place marker that we set is still going to be there in the row for January and the column for groceries. All right, now I want to show you another way to use place markers when selecting text, but this time we're going to select our data using the voice assistant. So I'm going to move back up to the row for January.
January, $200.00, E4.
And I'm going to go to the right to the entertainment column.
Entertainment, $79.00, F4.
And I want to start selecting here, and I want to select everything in this column down through December. You can use Voice Assistant in a couple of different ways. You can use your voice or you can use the keyboard. I'm going to start by using my voice, and depending on how you have your Voice Assistant set up, you'll either say the wake word and then give it a command, or you'll say hey followed by the wake word and give it the command. So I have mine set to say hey wake word, and then I'll hear a sound that lets me know that the voice assistant is listening. And I can then speak the command start selection. So I am going to do that now. Hey Sharky, start selection.
Dialog. Replace marked cell E4 with F4. Yes button. Alt plus Y. Location saved.
All right, so the voice assistant heard me and it's asking me once again if I want to change the location of the place marker because we are setting a new place marker. So I'm going to press enter for yes to choose yes.
Enter. Setting cell marker at F4. $79.00.
All right, so we're in cell F4. It told us it was setting the cell marker. So now I'm going to down arrow to December.
February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. $69.00. F15.
All right, so we're in cell F15, and I am going to activate voice assistant this time using the keyboard, and I'm going to tell it to finish selection. So I'll press Insert Alt Space, Finish Selection.
Select F4. $79.00. F15. $69.00.
All right, so now I have selected everything from F4 to F15. And once again, I can verify that by pressing Shift Insert Down Arrow.
Selected range, January and number 13, through and number 13, December. F4, $79.00. F15, $69.00.
And that told us what we have selected. So now I could perform a calculation or once again, copy that information or perform a task using that. So I could reformat it, just a number of things. All right, I'm going to press down arrow to remove that selection.
February, $79.00.
And I want to show you a couple more things about selecting text. I want to show you how to select a column and how to select a row using the keyboard. So I am going to press left arrow to move to the column for rent.
Groceries, utilities, rent, $1,200.00.
And from anywhere in this column, you can press Control Spacebar.
Selected entire column.
And JAWS let us know the entire column is selected. Now to select a row, it's very similar. I'm going to up arrow here to February.
January.
Or down arrow to February, I guess.
February.
And to select that entire row, I can press Shift Spacebar.
Selected entire row.
And now the entire row is selected. So that is how you use place markers and select text here in Excel.
For this task, I'm going to be showing you how to title your rows and columns in Excel. And this is really important when you're moving around in a data sheet or a table because it helps orient you where you are when you're just moving through a sea of numbers. For example, I can move here with the arrow keys through my example budget spreadsheet.
Utilities, blank, C6, utility, groceries, D7. Entertainment, E7.
And you can hear that I'm at the top of the columns here. So of course, if I down arrow once,
$79.00. Entertainment, E7.
and then up arrow, I know that that $79 is in the entertainment column. But as I move through this table and I move away from this top row,
$79.00, $225.00, $80.00, $80.00, C10.
and I'm just arrowing around, getting a feel for this spreadsheet. But very quickly, I lose track of where I am, which column, whether it's groceries, utilities, rent, entertainment. So I want to label these columns so that when I move into them, I'm told where I am. I have a reference of where I am in the spreadsheet. I'm going to arrow up to where all the column titles are.
$1,002, $1,000, rent, B7.
There we go. And I can select this with Shift Space.
Select A7, blank, XFD7, blank.
So that means this entire row will be designated as my column titles for this table. And the keyboard commands you'll need to designate these as column titles is Alt Control Insert C. And it's quite a bit of finger work, but well worth it once you get it done. So I'm going to hold down Control Alt Insert and then tap the letter C.
Setting column titles row range to 7.
All right. So now when we arrow around, you'll hear something a bit different. Let me show you.
Blank, A7. January, 8, rent, $1,200.00, B8.
Ah, nice.
Utilities, $75.00, C8.
So we're arrowing through this table and our columns are all labeled. And what we are able to hear now when we arrow into that column is the title of it, no matter where we are. Now, if I know what column I'm in and I press down arrow,
$80.00, C9.
I don't hear it again. But if I press right arrow and move to another column,
Groceries, $225.00, D9.
I'm told which column I'm in. All right, now let's do the same for these rows. I'm going to left arrow over to where the months are listed.
Rent, February.
And I'm going to press Control Space.
Select A1, blank, A1,048,000.
Because I'm going to, you don't have to do it this way. You can select just the ones you want to designate. But for this example, I'm just selecting this entire column to designate this column as where the row titles will appear. So to designate these as row titles, I will press Alt Control Insert R. Again, quite a bit of finger work, but you'll hold down Alt Control Insert and I'll tap the R.
Setting row titles column range to A.
So now that I have my rows and columns both titled, I'm going to arrow down through my budget spreadsheet so that you can hear the way that they're read.
January, 8.
I'm going to right arrow from here.
Rent, $1,200.00, B8.
And if you remember before, when we labeled our columns, we would only hear the announcement when we changed columns. So we were using left and right arrow. And when we did that, we changed columns and the column title was announced.
Utilities, $75.00,
Just
C8.
like that. For row titles, those will be announced when you use up and down arrow to move between rows. So we know right now that we are in the utilities column. If we press down arrow here,
February, $80.00, C9.
we hear the utilities for February were 80. But since we haven't changed columns, we didn't hear that announced again. If I press right arrow again,
Groceries, $225.00, D9.
I hear groceries for February were 225. And if I down arrow,
March, blank, D10.
March appears to be blank. Let's up arrow.
February, $225.00, D9. January, $200.00, D8.
So we hear that groceries in January were $200. And that is how you label rows and titles in Excel, a definite necessity if you're working with large spreadsheets. For our next task, I want to show you how you can use the Excel watch window to monitor cells. And I did not know about this task. It's pretty interesting. The Excel watch window is pretty much what it sounds like. It allows you to add specific cells to a separate window so that you can monitor them all the time. So if you're working in a really large spreadsheet and you're constantly updating formulas or adding numbers to it, you can easily look at this window and check what's going on in a different part of your spreadsheet. So let me show you. To activate the Excel watch window, we'll use the command Alt-MW. It's found on the Formula tab. But first, I'm going to select some cells. Once the watch window is open, you can type in cell coordinates, but I just prefer to do it this way. So focus is on my monthly totals column, and I'm going to use Shift Control End to select it.
Control Shift End, select G8, $1,600. Tab, Analysis Lens, Formatting tab, Escape. Selected range, G8, $1,654.00, H23, blank.
With those cells selected, I'll now press the command to open the watch window.
Upper ribbon tab M.
M,
Lower
W.
menu bar, leaving menus, add watch button, A.
focus is on the Add Watch button. I'm going to press Enter.
Enter. Leaving menus. Leaving ribbons. Add watch. Select the cells that you would like to watch the value of. Edit. Equals sheet $1 G $8 H $23. Add.
So like I mentioned, this is a place where you can actually type in the cell coordinates that you'd like to watch, or you can select them in advance and then they'll be here already. So I'm just going to press
Add button. Alt plus A.
Tab and then spacebar on Add.
Space. Menu bar. Add watch button. A.
So visually on the screen, the watch window has changed and it takes up more space on the screen the more cells you add to it. If you're using the computer visually, you can just click on the top of this watch window and drag it up to the top so that it doesn't cover up any of the screen. If you're using the computer with JAWS, you won't need to worry about that. Now that I have these cells selected, focus is still in the watch window. To move back to my spreadsheet, I'll use Shift F6.
Shift F6. Leaving menus. Budget sample 2.xlsx. Selected range. G8. $1000.
I did a left arrow so my cells are no longer selected. I'm going to arrow through these columns and let's make a couple of changes and then check out what's happened in our watch window.
Entertainment. $79.00. Auto/taxi. $100.00. F8.
All right, I'm going to edit this cell.
F2. Home. Edit. 100. 0. 0. 1. 0. 1. 2. Enter. February. January. $200.00. F8. Entertain. Auto/taxi.
So the auto taxi payment has been changed from 100 to 200.
Monthly totals. $1,754.00.
This before, as you may remember, was $100 less, but let's not check it this way. Let's actually change it again and then check it in our watch window.
Auto/taxi. $200.00. F8. F2. Home. Blank. Edit. 200. 0. 0. 0. 2. 0. 2. 3. Enter. February. January. $300.00.
Now auto taxi is 300. And to get back to my watch window, I'll have to press F6 twice.
F6. Sheet 1 tab. F6. Menu bar. Add watch button. A.
So now my focus is back on the watch window. It's on the Add Watch button. And to get down to my list of watch cells, I'll just tab.
Leaving menus. Watch window. List view. Budget sample 2.xlsx sheet 1 G $8 $1,854.00 equals sum B8. F8. 1 of 32.
All right. And you hear the cell that we were monitoring has now gone up to 1,854. As we've been increasing the auto taxi, I can also down arrow through the list of other cells that I am watching.
Budget sample 2.xlsx sheet 1 H8. 2 of 32. Budget sample 2.xlsx sheet 1 G $9 $1,684.00 equals sum B9. F9. 3 of 32.
Very handy. And then if I would like to go back to my spreadsheet, again, I can Shift F6.
Shift F6. Sheet 1 tab.
If I'd like to close the watch window, it's a toggle. So all I need to do is Alt,
Upper ribbon. Ribbon tabs tab collapsed. Home tab. Alt followed by H.
M, then W.
M. W. Leaving menus. Leaving ribbons. $300.00. F8.
And that is how you monitor a cell or multiple cells with the Excel watch window.
To use the sort feature in Excel, the first step is to select the data you would like to have sorted. For this demonstration, I'm using an Excel worksheet that reports students' SAT exam scores. I have columns such as students' last and first names, their scores, and then what grade they are in as reported by freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the data region that I would like to have selected.
Blank. A2. Last name. A3. Schneider. A4.
Now there are several ways to select data. I'm going to use the Go To dialog box feature of Excel, which quickly will select all the cells I would like to select. I'll go ahead and press Ctrl G to open the Go To dialog box.
Control G, reference, edit, Alt plus R, reference, edit combo.
And now I'll need to insert the beginning data point, which in this case is cell A4, and the ending data point, which is cell F25 or Foxtrot 25, separated by a colon, which in Excel is like saying through. So I'll go ahead and press A4
A. 4.
and the colon,
A 4, colon,
and then my ending point of F25.
F. 2. 5.
I'll go ahead and press enter. The dialog box will close and cells A4 through F25 will be selected.
F25, enter, select, A4, Schneider, F25, Junior.
Next, you'll want to open your context menu. You can open the context menu by pressing Shift plus F10 or using the Applications key. I'm going to use the Applications key.
Applications, menu, cut, T.
And now use the down arrow key to find the sort option.
Copy, C. Paste special unavailable, S. Smart lookup, L. Insert I. Delete D. Clear contents. Translate. Quick analysis. Filter submenu. Sort submenu. Sort, O.
JAWS reports that we are at the sort option, and there's also a submenu. You can open a submenu by either pressing the enter key or pressing the right arrow key. I'm going to press the right arrow key.
Sort A to Z, S.
And the submenu is opened with all available options. I'll go ahead and press the down arrow key so we can see what's available to us.
Sort Z to A, O. Put selected cell color on top, C. Put selected font color on top, F. Put selected formatting icon on top. Custom sort U. Sort A to Z, S.
Once I got to the bottom of the list, with an additional press of the down arrow key, I was returned to the top of the list in the first option, which was sort A to Z. For this demonstration, that makes the most sense, as I would like to organize these students' names alphabetically. I'll go ahead and press enter, and the submenu will close, and our data will be sorted alphabetically.
Enter. Leaving menus, selected range, A4, Abdu, F25, sophomore.
I'll verify that the names are arranged alphabetically by pressing my down arrow key a few times.
Clooney, A5, Danzig, A6, Donnelly, A7, Forrester, A8.
And it would appear that they are arranged alphabetically, and that is how you use the sort feature in Excel. To use the filter feature in Excel, the first step is to move to a cell which contains information that you would like to filter by. For this demonstration, I would like to sort my data by grade. So I'm going to move to the grade column in the worksheet.
Donnelly, A7, Danzig, Clooney, Abdu, last name, A3, first name, B3, reading score, C3, math score, D3, combined score, E3, grade, F3.
And I would like to see the scores only of the students who are a senior. So I'm now going to look for a cell which reports the word senior.
Sophomore, F4. Senior, F5.
Now that we've done that, I'm going to open the context menu. You can open the context menu by pressing Shift plus F10 or using the Applications key. I'm going to use the Applications key.
Applications, menu, cut, T.
And now use the down arrow key to find the filter option.
Copy, C. Paste special unavailable, S. Smart lookup, insert delete clear contents, translate, quick analysis, filter submenu, filter, E.
This filter option is a submenu, and to open a submenu, you'll press the Enter key or the right arrow key. I'm going to press the right arrow key.
Clear filter unavailable, E.
And now I'll use the down arrow key so we can see what's available to us in this submenu.
Reapply unavailable, R. Filter by selected cells value, V. Filter by selected cells color, C. Filter by selected cells font color, filter by selected cells icon, clear filter unavailable, E.
Once we arrived at the last option in the submenu, another press of the down arrow key moved us back to the top and beginning of the list. For this demonstration, I would like to filter the data using the filter by the cell's value.
Reapply unavailable, R. Filter by selected cells value, V.
So now that I've arrived at the filter by the selected cells value, I'm going to press enter. The submenu will close. And once I press enter, the submenu will close and I'll be returned back to the worksheet where only rows that display the word senior will appear. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Enter. Leaving menus, senior, F5, adjacent to hidden cells.
And I'm going to use my down arrow key to verify that only seniors are being shown.
Senior, F9, senior, F10, senior, F13, adjacent to hidden cells.
And that is how you use the filter feature in Excel. To clear filters which you've applied in Excel, move to the selected cells value cell. In this demonstration, of course, it was the word senior. So I'll go ahead and move to a cell that says senior.
Senior, F10, adjacent to hidden cells.
Then open the context menu, which you can open by pressing Shift plus F10 or using the applications key. I'll go ahead and use the applications key.
Applications, menu, cut, T.
I'll press the down arrow to move to the filter option.
Copy, C. Paste special unavailable, S. Smart lookup, insert row, delete row, clear contents, translate, quick analysis, filter submenu, filter, E.
And I'll open this submenu by pressing the right arrow key.
Clear filter from grade, E.
And the very first option advises us that we can clear this filter. I'm going to press enter.
Enter. Leaving menus, senior, F10.
And now as I press my up and down arrow keys, I should hear results that contain other grades as well as senior.
Junior, F11, junior, F12, senior, sophomore, F14.
And that is how you clear a filter in the filter feature. To select and move to a worksheet in an Excel workbook, press Control, Shift, and the letter S as in Sierra. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Move to worksheet dialog, list 1 list view, first period, 5 of 5.
That opens the Move to dialog box, and we're presented with a list of the available worksheets in this particular workbook. Use the up and down arrow keys to navigate this list to locate the worksheet you would like to select and move to. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Second period, fourth period, January, third period, 1 of 5.
Once you locate the worksheet you would like to select and move to, press the Enter key.
Enter. Third period, blank, A1.
And that is how you select and move to a worksheet within an Excel workbook. To move a worksheet in a workbook in Excel, you'll first want to navigate to the worksheet you would like to move, then press Alt plus H, O, M. And again, that's Alt plus H as in hotel, O as in Oscar, M as in Mike. I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
Alt H, upper ribbon, ribbon tabs tab expanded, O, menu, leaving menus, row height, Alt followed by H, M, leaving menus, leaving ribbons, before sheet, list box third period, 1 of 6, third period.
This opens the Move and Copy dialog box where I can now select where I would like the sheet to be moved to. For this demonstration, I'd like to move the sheet to follow after the worksheet named Period 2. So I'm going to use my down arrow keys and locate the worksheet named Period 2.
January, 2 of 6. Fourth period, 3 of 6. Second period, 4 of 6.
Next, I'll press Enter, and the dialog box will close, and the worksheet will be moved to follow after Period 2.
Enter. Blank, A1.
I can verify that the worksheet has been moved by holding my Control key and tapping my page down and then my page up key.
Second period, blank, A9. Third period, blank, A1. Fourth period, blank, A3.
And that is how you move the placement of a worksheet in a workbook in Excel. To copy a worksheet in a workbook in Excel, the first step is, of course, to move to the worksheet that you would like to have copied. I'm going to do that by holding my Control key and pressing my page down key to move to the worksheet named Period 1.
Third period, second period, first period, selected range, physical science, merged cells, A1 through E1.
Now that I've navigated to the worksheet that I'd like to copy, I want to open the dialog box called Move and Copy. To open the Move and Copy dialog box, press Alt plus H, O, M. Again, that's Alt plus H as in hotel, O as in Oscar, M as in Mike. And I'll go ahead and do that now.
Alt H, upper ribbon, tabs tab expanded, home tab, Alt followed by H, O, sales toolbar, format button drop down pressed as pop up, Alt followed by H, O, H, mem, leaving menus, leaving ribbons, before sheet, list box January, 1 of 6.
In this dialog box, the next step is to select where I would like this copy of the worksheet to be placed. For this demonstration, I would like to place the copy after the worksheet named period 4. So I'll use my up and down arrow keys to locate the worksheet named period 4.
Fourth period, 2 of 6.
Next, I'll tab once.
Create a copy checkbox not checked, Alt plus C.
And since we'd like to create a copy, I'm going to press my space bar to check this box.
Space, checked.
Then I'll tab to OK and press Enter.
OK button. Enter, first period 2, selected range, physical science, merged cells, A1 through E1.
So the dialog box closed. I am placed in the copy I created, and everything is the exact same, including the name of the worksheet. Only in the copy, the name of the worksheet is followed by the number 2 to help differentiate between the two. And that is how you create a copy of a worksheet within a workbook in Excel. To name or rename a worksheet within a workbook in Excel, press Alt plus H, O, and R as in Romeo. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Alt H, upper ribbon, tabs tab expanded, O, sales toolbar, format button drop down pressed as pop up, R, leaving menus, leaving ribbons, selected range, physical science, merged cells, A1 through E1.
So now the name is highlighted, and I can either backspace to clear everything that's in there or start typing the name that I would like to call this worksheet. I'll go ahead and start typing period 5.
P-E-R-I-O-D, period. 5.
Lastly, press Enter, and that will secure the new name of the worksheet.
Enter. Selected range, physical science, merged cells, A1 through E1.
To delete a worksheet in an Excel workbook, first, of course, move to the worksheet you would like to delete. For this demonstration, I would like to delete the worksheet named January. I'll press and hold the Control key and use my page up key to locate the worksheet.
January, blank, A1.
Next, press Alt plus H as in hotel, D as in Delta, S as in Sierra. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Alt H, upper ribbon, tabs tab expanded, D, menu, leaving menus, delete cells Control plus, Control S, fourth period, period 5, selected range, physical science, merged cells, A1 through E1, leaving menus, leaving ribbons.
And I can now press and hold my Control key, and I'll press my page down.
Fourth period, blank, A3.
And then page up.
Period 5, selected range.
And the January worksheet is no longer there. And that is how you delete a worksheet in a workbook in Excel.
We'd love it if you'd connect with us. We have several ways to do that. You can find us on Facebook, Freedom Scientific. Find us on Twitter at Freedom Sci. That's at Freedom SCI. We're on Instagram at Freedom Scientific. You can also check out our YouTube training channel where you can find a lot of task-based videos. That is the Freedom Scientific Training channel. So you can go to youtube.com/Freedom Scientific Training or just type Freedom Scientific Training into the search box. We are also now on TikTok. That's also at Freedom Scientific. So go to TikTok and check us out there as well. We also encourage you to subscribe to our blog where you'll get all the latest information about our training events. That's blog.freedomscientific.com. Just type your email address and hit subscribe. Also, check us out on Clubhouse. We do 2 sessions there a week, usually on Mondays and Wednesdays. On Mondays, we have Ask Sharky. On Wednesdays, we have Jaws Beginner's Corner. You can download Clubhouse on your Android or iOS device. Also, want to tell you a couple ways you can contact us. If you have questions or feedback, or if you have some training suggestions, some things you'd like to see us create webinars on, send us an email to training@vispero.com. That's training at Victor, India, Sierra, Papa, Echo, Romeo, Oscar.com. And finally, join our low traffic email list. You want to get updates on training, find out what we've posted, get some tips. It's a great way to connect with us there. Go to our webinars on demand page at freedomscientific.com/webinars, fill out the short subscription form with your name and email, and hit subscribe to join our email list.
Thanks, Liz. And I wanted to take a moment to say thank you again to Kathy. If you enjoyed this training, we have another one that's going to be available on the same day, July 31st, to download or stream, covering PowerPoint tips and tricks from JAWS users. So definitely download that as well, give it a listen. And Kathy, this would be a great time if you wanted to share your email again.
This has been a lot of fun today, and please feel free to reach out to me at Kathy_Johnson@live.com. That's Kathy with a C _Johnson@live.com.
Definitely. And Kathy, it's been great working with you. It's been a lot of fun. Kathy's a great teacher. And thank you to all of you who are listening now who chose to download or stream this training. If you know of anyone else who may benefit from this information, direct them over to our training center page at freedomscientific.com/training, where you can find all of the content that our team works on. The archived webinars will be under the heading Webinars on Demand. And again, that URL is freedomscientific.com/training. And we appreciate you all so much. Thank you.